Everything that glitters isn't gold. This is why oral piercings are not the best choice for self-expression. Oral piercings are one of the most flashiest and growing forms of self-expression in this day and time. Everybody's doing it, everybody's sister's doing it, everybody's friends is doing it. So every time you turn around, you have individuals that's constantly getting oral piercings. I personally disapprove of oral piercings, and as we discussed tonight, we'll have various reasons of why I disapprove. Although oral piercings may look cool, they are very dangerous. They can be very dangerous to your health, from breaking teeth to bacterial growth in the mouth, and even to some permanent damage to our oral cavity. The oral cavity is your mouth. So let's explore why we're discussing why oral piercings are not cool. The mouth contains millions and millions of bacteria that can cause infections that can occur during oral piercings. These infections come into the mouth, because you have a foreign object that you are placing in your mouth. Secondly, you have inserted a metal device in your mouth that has pierced through your tongue in means of self-expression. Well, as you're doing that, what you have to understand is that the bacteria that runs to that foreign object, because it's not a part of the mouth, so the bacteria is going to colonize, which means they're all going to run together, they're going to migrate on that one little area, and they're going to have a party around that piercing. Well, that's not good, because if the bacteria is coming in the mouth, then that means you can have be in high chance or cause of infection in the mouth, all from an oral piercing. So let's say you're walking around, you're glittering, your tongue look cute, you're letting everybody see it, but then you got this whole infectious bacterial process pooling in the mouth. To me, that is not cool. Not only is that an issue, the swelling of the tongue is an issue too, because as you're placing that device in your tongue, the tongue will swell. Sometimes the bacteria can get in that spot where the device has been inserted, and it can cause your tongue to swell to the point that you're obstructing your airway, which means you can't breathe. So your tongue is swelling to the point that it has cut off your airway and you can't breathe. Well, if you can't breathe, then that means you're not really going to be possibly alive. So then that means the device is not as cool as it seems to be. So sometimes when we're doing things that everybody is doing, we have to look at the situation and make sure that it's something that's safe for you to do. Now, not only that, as it blocks the airway, we've talked about that. In addition to that, as the American Dental Association has proven, it blocks the airway. Bacteria can get in your mouth. The large amounts of bacteria can breed in your mouth. But not only that, the amount of teeth that are broken due to oral piercings is simply ridiculous. Why? How do you break teeth with an oral piercing? Well, when you're clacking it up against the teeth and you're pushing it on the teeth, as the device hits the teeth, it can break them, shatter them, break off different pieces of it, break off different parts of the tooth. Then guess what that means? That means that now you're going to have to go to the dentist and you're going to have to get that fixed, all from a simple piercing. So there's so many different risk factors associated with dental piercings or oral piercings. WebMD has stated that the amount of hindrances of the health about oral piercing is growing rapidly. As you'll see, there's some links that will be attached that you can go back and you can look at as I'm giving you this information. It has also been proven that with the piercings, although they're flashy, that the amount of sensitivity that can come around the tooth, because as you're flashing it, everybody, it's a habit that forms with oral piercings. You know, you'll see people, if you think back on it, you'll see people how that when they do have an oral piercing, they're always showing it outside the mouth. They're rubbing it across the gums or rubbing it across the teeth. You'll see it across the lips, what have you. Well, in that process, as they're rubbing the device across the teeth, it's chipping away and shaving a little bit of the enamel, almost like putting sandpaper on a car. So therefore, you're going to shave away some of the enamel. Guess what? That's going to cause tooth sensitivity. Not only is it going to cause tooth sensitivity, you're going to have gingiva, like your gingiva is going to become bruised because the device is going to keep hitting up against your gums, it's hitting up against your tooth. You got bacteria growing in your mouth, and your tongue can swell up to the point you can't breathe. This is why I say that oral piercings is not the ideal way of self-gratification. As we talked about, there is much inquiry that should be done. In conclusion, as I close, before you make the decision, before an individual makes the decision to have an oral piercing, there is a lot of research that needs to be done. Go on Colgate. Colgate is where I got a lot of my information. You can go on their website, WebMD, the American Dental Association. These are all sites that are on the internet that you can go on to see what they have to say about oral piercings, and they'll give you more information before you make this decision that can actually become something that become permanently destructive to your mouth. So as we've learned, oral piercings can cause great damage to your teeth and to your oral cavity, which is why I disapprove. And everything that glitters is not gold. This is why oral piercings is not the ideal choice of self-expression. Thank you.